Sound, set, hike. Oh wait, we're ready to do the questions for the Bulldog. You ready, Miss Bowman?
I'm ready. So what kind of kid is Barry? Is he a character you like or connect to? Let's think. Do you like Barry? He seems like, what do you think, Mrs. Lamont?
I think that Barry seems to be a kid, and he has very good character. I think he has very good qualities.
Yeah.
So I think Barry is an honest kid.
Ooh, honest. And we're gonna be talking about some evidence to support that right there. And you know what? Miss Lamont, you already made a connection already. You connected to Barry because football and how much you love to watch football.
Yes, I love to watch football.
You saw her a while ago with her football in her hand and her water. So can you connect to him? So let's look at this. What kind of kid is Barry? Is he a character you like and can connect to? And so what do you think, boys and girls? Take a second. Well, I'm going to agree with Mrs. Lamont. I think he is an honest person, and I also like that he had integrity. I know Mrs. Hyman probably mentioned integrity to you last year when you did character.
The character traits.
Yes. And y'all did all those wonderful videos with Miss Hyman. She talked about integrity. So I'm going to say that Barry, he is a student.
Oh, you know what, Miss Bowman?
Well, hold on a minute. He might not be a student. He might be, I'm going to say he is a boy.
Right, and Miss Bowman, I forgot what integrity meant.
Oh!
And so I wasn't for sure what it meant. So you know what? I went right over here to Google and I looked it up. And integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles.
Ooh.
So that means that if you have strong moral principles, it means that you're standing up for what you think is right.
Oh! He's standing up for but he really wants to win that game, right, boys and girls?
Yeah, but Miss Bowman, sometimes I know he wants to win the game, but sometimes it's better to do the right thing than the popular thing, isn't it?
Boys and girls, that leads us into this part right here. We can say that he's honest and has integrity, but we have to go back in the text, and now we need to go back to our reading and pull something out. We have to find that evidence. And in the evidence in the text, we can say, Barry didn't end up playing that game. He didn't because he made a choice. So we're going to put on here, Barry's honest. So we need to show some evidence that he's honest and show some evidence that he has integrity. So we're going to go back and according to the author, so he wants to win. And we know that. But according to the text, sorry, I'm slower than you are.
But according to the text, he doesn't play the game because he feels what the coach did was wrong.
And straight from the text, if we have to pull it, he didn't end up playing the game. And you're right. He knew that it was wrong. So let's add to that. Because he didn't do it, because he was true to himself, because we have that honest and integrity, he was true to his self and his beliefs. So we could even add more if we wanted to. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to add more. And he didn't play the game, but he was never, and this is straight from the text, he was never happier.
And I bet he was happier because he was honest and he had integrity. And he knew what the coach was doing was wrong. So he's like, I'm going to have integrity and I'm going to do the right thing.
Ooh, don't we get awards for doing the right thing too sometimes. We have that award with the Havelock Police Department.
All right, boys and girls, I think we've covered that one. All right, he was true to himself. He stood up and did the right thing for his beliefs in the very end there. So let's move on down to this next question. Let me slide us on up a little bit so you can see. And yes, I do hope you're going back in that text and using your color coding. It says, color the details in the text that help you answer the question. Reread the text you have colored and describe an overall tone or the feeling. Mrs. Lamont, what if I don't know what the word tone means? What could I do?
If you don't know what tone means, you can come right over here to Google.
Cool.
And I'm going to Google tone. And this says a musical or vocal sound.
Tone? Is this?
That's like, no, like music class.
I'm not sure if that fits what we're looking for. We're talking about tone in a story.
Okay, because I don't remember any music in this story.
No, I think.
All right, but there's another definition.
Oh, let's go to definition number 2 and see if that fits better.
The general character or attitude of a piece of writing.
So let's think. What is the character of Barry? So what's his character or feeling? Describe its overall tone or feeling. Well, is this whole story, because this is the overall tone. This whole story is about a boy named Barry. He wants to play this football game, but there's some serious things going on in this story. This is not a fun, the tone is not fun. The tone is not melancholy. I always use that word because it's like calm and mellow.
It's not calm.
There's a lot of things going on about drought. Oh my goodness,
That's
there's
very
no water.
serious.
There's things going on about dishonesty. That coach, he's stealing.
So we could use that. We could say that the tone is serious because, and we could go back in the text and say it is serious because we've got our text evidence that we're going to go back and underline in yellow. We can say that the overall tone is serious.
I like that. It was serious.
There was a drought, and that's
serious.
serious.
That is serious. And there was stealing going on. And that's not funny at all. That's a serious matter.
There was a drought and stealing.
Definitely a dishonest coach there.
A drought and stealing. So that was not good at all. Because there was that drought and stealing, and I can show evidence of it being serious, boys and girls. I'm going to go back in the text and show that there was a serious drought. I'm going to put that in yellow because that's what it told me to do. There was a serious drought, okay? And also another part that was serious on page 13.
Oh, he was stealing water.
Right, and he was stealing, and that is serious again.
Water down. Oh,
He was stealing the water because it said, I will play for you, I will give it my best, but not as long as you are stealing water. So he was stealing water, so stealing, and we had a drought, which both tells us that the tone of this story is very serious because it's about serious things that happen in our everyday life.
Woo! Wow.
All right, guys, let's check out this next question.
So what does it mean in the text when it says, on that fateful night, he chose the right bulldog? Well,
Fateful.
I'm
faithful.
sorry.
Woohoo!
Faithful? What's faithful mean? Better go to Google.
Here we go again. If I do not know a word, I use my strategy. I go look it up, sound it out.
Ooh, it
What is
says
that?
having a far-reaching and often disastrous consequence or implications.
There was definitely an implication and a consequence because Barry didn't get to play the game. He didn't want to. He chose not to. So there's definitely some consequences going on there.
Yes, definitely.
Ooh.
So it says, what does it mean in the text when it says, on that fateful night, he chose the right bulldog? So let's see. Didn't it refer? Oh, yeah, because remember we talked about Coach Sabdo when they were talking about bulldog, and they're like, rah, 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 all mean and gruff. Now, so is he choosing the bulldog his coach? Or is he choosing to hang out with his bulldog, Rex?
So when they say choosing the right one, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the coach
being the bulldog, because they reference that in the text.
Or they're talking about the team, the Bulldogs.
The team, the Bulldogs.
Oh.
Yeah.
So something devastating is fixing to happen. Something that's really going to change things, and it's going to affect which one he chooses, which bulldog.
So the bulldog that he ends up choosing, boys and girls, is he ends up choosing his team because he does what he thinks is right for his team. He doesn't think it's right for the coach to steal. So he does what he thinks is right. Now, is it popular with his team?
No.
It may not be popular because it said only his true friends agreed with his decision. Because sometimes people think winning is more important than doing the right thing. So that's something that we have to look at too. Is it more important to do the right thing, or is it more important to win? And that's one of those life choices that you have to make.
So when he takes his bulldog out for that walk and chances upon that coach stealing that water, he was able to know that he didn't want to be on his team anymore.
Right.
He knew right then when he come across that incident, he knew.
Oh yeah, you know what my grandma used to always say? Guilty by association. So that means if you hang out with people who do bad stuff, what are people gonna think about you? They're gonna think that you're not very good either.
So by taking his bulldog out for that walk, and he came across that coach, I wonder what you would do, boys and girls. What would you do? Would you have done the same thing? And stealing water? I wouldn't do that, and I know you wouldn't do that. But if someone of your friends was doing it, would you do the same thing? Would you stand up and have some integrity?
Let's think about that. Would you do the right thing, or would you go along with your coach? Because sometimes you have that peer pressure, or in this case, it's kind of adult pressure, because sometimes adults do things that are wrong. And the adult did the thing that was wrong, and the child chose to stand up and say, hey, this is wrong.
So by taking that out, taking his bulldog out for a walk, and coming and chancing upon the coach stealing the water, he was able to know that he did not want to be part of the team. Ooh, Barry did it, and then Barry, we also want to put on there too. It meant, let me think how to put that. He didn't end up playing the game, and he was true to himself in the end. So I want to write that too, because all of that shows it shows about that night why he chose the Bulldogs. And he chose them because of his being true to himself.
Right, because of his integrity.
So Barry didn't end up playing the game. And so I'm going to put that right there and stop right there and think to myself, because Barry didn't end up playing that game. But that does show that he did stand up for what he believed in. And then we go back in the text, and we're going to find the evidence back in the text. It says, color the details in the text. I'm going to flip back real quick, and I'm going to go back. And I'm going to look for that evidence that supports that. And because I've cited that Barry didn't end up playing the game, I know that that's what I'm looking for. So Barry didn't end up playing the game. Let me see where I can find that.
I think it's in the next to the last paragraph.
Ooh.
So we might want to move our chart, move up just a little bit, Miss Bowman, so everyone can see.
Can y'all see me now?
All right, there you go.
Hey, we're only playing a game. Next to the last one. That was him stealing some water.
Oh, that's right. I guess it is the last one. He didn't end up playing that game.
Right, there's my evidence.
Oh, look, and also Barry was never happier because he knew deep down he was true to himself.
Ooh, I can put that down there too. I could go ahead and add that to my answer too. Because that's very, very true there. All right, flipping right on over. Boys and girls, now we're on number 3. Whoa! You know what, Mrs. Lamont? This one's a fun. I love doing summaries.
Me too. Somebody wanted, but so then.
Did y'all remember that one from 4th grade and 3rd grade and 2nd
You
grade?
use your hand. Somebody wanted, but so then. That helps you figure it out. Sometimes, when I was little, don't do this because it's probably not the best thing. I used to write, somebody wanted, but so then. I got in trouble for that, writing it on my hand. But it helped me remember.
Okay, so it says let's write a summary.
So who's our somebody?
Barry?
Barry.
But there's a problem first. We need to identify the problem.
Oh, okay,
There's
so
no problem.
there was a drought
Oh, there we go. There was a drought.
in Barry's town.
I'm writing too fast.
There was a terrible drought
Ooh, there was a terrible drought. We know that.
in Barry's town. So there's our somebody. Okay? But I think we may have another somebody too.
It was that works for me.
There was a terrible drought in Barry's town, and the football team needed water.
Ooh,
right?
Yes.
They wanted water, okay? So there was a drought, they wanted water. But they were out of water, right? The town was out of water. The coach went to the water tower and stole water. Somebody wanted, they wanted water, but they did that. So,
Sometimes there's more than that. If you put more to
okay, so the coach went to the water tower and stole the water. Ooh, Barry was walking his dog and saw the coach stealing water. So he saw his coach stealing the water.
And then what?
And then Barry decided that he was not going to play in the game because his coach was doing things that were, or Barry decided not to play in the football game.
Did he decide to do that? Barry decided that he.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think about I was going to change it, but then you're right.
Yeah, Barry decided to not
play for a coach that was dishonest.
Ooh,
I like that better because that kind of ties it all together.
For a coach
that was dishonest. Ooh,
all right,
awesome.
So let's look at this. So there was a terrible drought in Barry's town. The football team needed water, but they were out of water. So the coach went to the water tower and stole water. Barry was walking his dog and saw the coach stealing water. Barry decided not to play for a coach that was dishonest. I think that is a pretty awesome summary.
Woo!
All right.
Well, we know what the theme is. That one's easy.
The theme is
Oh
super
my
easy.
goodness, boys and girls. Overall theme, when you read this story, what do you come away with thinking about?
What's a lesson? Oh, you know what? Theme's like a lesson.
Ooh.
My mom used to read me stories when I was little. What are those things called? You know, like the tortoise and the hare.
Fables?
Fables. They have.
Fables.
Yeah,
Yes.
they like a moral.
Oh,
a moral and
yeah.
a theme are kind of the same thing. It's a lesson that we learn. So what lesson did we learn?
you learn?
What did we learn from this text?
You know what I learned?
What did you learn?
That it's okay to stand up for what you believe in.
Exactly. That's
I
fabulous.
I do believe that.
It's okay to stand up.
I like Barry. He stood up for what he believed in, even though he didn't get to play the game. It said he was okay.
He did what was right.
That's right. So you know what? I think the theme is standing up for what you believe.
I think that is excellent.
Now, boys and girls, there could be multiple themes as long as you can support it with evidence from the text. So keep that in mind. You could have found another one. Let's go down to the last thing right here, and it says describe. Oh, there's number 5. Describe the challenge in this story along with how Barry reacts to it. So, boys and girls, what is the big challenge? Well, there was a drought. Yep. We know that. But there's a bigger one than
There's a bigger challenge in the drought. I think the bigger challenge was Barry catching the coach stealing water from the water tower.
Yes, Barry did that. He finds that coach. Now, how does Barry react?
Well, he reacted. He wants to win the game, but he doesn't want to play for a coach that is stealing. So he wants to win, but he knows that the right thing to do is not to play because the coach is stealing, which is really cheating.
That's right, and he tells the coach that. He tells him that it's wrong, and then he says, I'm not going to play. And guess what? Coach still goes on with doing it, and Barry doesn't play. Mrs. Lamont, how about that last one for us? I'm going to move it up just a second, boys and girls. Does Barry's reaction to the challenge support the theme of the story? And that's where we're at. I'm going to finish this one because Barry wants to win the game. He tells his coach
He is not playing for someone who cheats and steals
that stealing is wrong
and is cheating.
and is cheating. All right, awesome. And then does Barry's reaction? I think Barry's reaction is really good. I think yes. I think
Yes.
his reaction is yes. It is. And it is supported because Barry's reaction supports the theme of the story because when he sees that coach doing something he knows is wrong, Barry takes a risk and stands up for what he believes in, even though those consequences are negative. He don't get to play the game, but it's okay because he's happy.
Because he feels good inside. So his reaction supports the theme because he's standing up for what he believes is right.
Is my thing broken or is no one?
Just like in a real classroom, isn't it? So he's standing up for
What he believes.
he believes.
All right, guys.
Ha!
Excellent
We did it!
job.